That was horrible. How are you feeling, Philadelphia? All right. Thank you all for coming. I hope that Philadelphia has struck you as a small town. It's made smaller. The nerd community is global, but here we're one small family. And I hope you're making friends out there, because Wizard World and Austin Fest were designed for that. My name is Scott Johnston. I'm a lifetime Philadelphian. I've got mad nerd cred. I'm a singer in a Star Trek tribute wedding band. So I think you know I've got some cred. A lot of you have questions for Christopher Lloyd, and about 20 minutes into our talk, we're going to open up the floor for some questions. If you could line up over here, or over there, hold on, follow, all right. Follow Chevy, Siobhan Anderson. She's pointing to a microphone. If you're embarrassed to ask questions, you can send them to Frankly. What is the hashtag, sir? WizardCon, at WizardCon. At WizardCon. If you're afraid to ask the question, send it to them. I had 12 of my friends give me 12 questions for Mr. Lloyd. How marked. So if you have a question, send it to him. At this time, I have got the very enviable job, all my friends hate me, to have a chat with Mr. Lloyd, who just said to me, let's talk about anything. So, are you guys ready to welcome Christopher Lloyd? Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Christopher Lloyd! Woo!
It's exactly the same. That's pretty good. It's got good genes, huh?
That's staging, it's like 90.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Lloyd, I have all of my friends hate me because of this,
All right.
because everybody, all my friends are enormous Christopher Lloyd fans, going back to the early time. But I had a couple of quick questions. I guess one of the first questions is, how does it feel to have the most envied IMDb identification? You have been in movies with every person in Hollywood, and you work with them time and again. And according to Starlog, you're one of the funniest guys to work with.
Oh, yeah. How does it feel?
How does it feel?
I don't know. I'm always thinking about, waiting for the phone to ring for my next gig. And I'm very, very grateful to still be working. The longer I live, the less competition. So I just keep rolling along. Just keep rolling along. Just keep rolling along.
They even love that. How many people here count themselves as enormous Christopher Lloyd fans? Okay,
All right.
So everybody.
Okay. Yeah. So, now what?
Here's a question. So some of these kids know Taxi because their parents watched it. I was a huge fan. Why was Reverend Jim Ignatowski a Star Trek fan?
A Star Trek fan? He just dug it. It was kind of spacey, and that seemed to jive with his sensibility. I don't know, he just kind of dug it. I think he could lose himself in a world that was very remote from his own, and fantasize about what it would be like to be out in space, like he needed help. He dug it.
You got to play yourself 24 years after in Man on the Moon. You got to play yourself.
Yeah, man.
That's amazing.
Yes, that was an extraordinary reunion, because Taxi had shut down for some years, and then somebody had the notion of getting us all back together again and making this movie about Andy Kaufman, which it was extraordinary, because some of us hadn't seen each other for a while, and there we were back on the set, and they built a replica of the set, which, everything was exactly as it had been, even the scratches on the table. It was a wonderful reunion, and I thought Jim Carrey was phenomenal as Andy Kaufman. There were times when you look at Jim Carrey's eyes and swear it was Andy. It was just, he really went and found Andy's reality, and it was a wonderful experience. There you go.
That's all these kids want. That's all these kids want. And me too, because some of my favorite films have you in them. When I was a young man doing Rocky Horror, tender age young man, I was a huge Rocky Horror fan. And then one day out in the Cherry Hill Mall, they put up this giant cardboard billboard for Clue.
Yes, Clue.
And Professor Plum, every talented character actor is in that movie.
Yeah, it's amazing because when Clue opened here in the States, it didn't do particularly well. I mean, it opened and it was kind of so what. It was very popular from the get-go in England and in some other foreign places. But it's caught on here. And I'm amazed how many people complain up there because there's not a picture of Clue to be signed. It's just regained a popularity and appreciation that it didn't really have at the beginning. And aside from all that, I felt it was a real honor to be part of it. It was an amazing cast and a wonderful script. I just felt very privileged to be there with all those wonderful people.
Did you know Lee Ving, the man who played Mr. Body? Did you know him before the film? Lee Ving.
Who's that?
He played Mr. Body. He only has the one scene. Lee Ving. He was the lead singer of a punk rock band called Fear. And I didn't even know he was in the film. And I was like, Lee Ving. Did you know who he was? He was a very big punk rock star out in the LA punk scene.
Oh,
Mr. Body.
Mr. Body, yeah. King. What was the name of the group?
Lee Ving.
Yeah.
Lee Ving. He wasn't even a character actor. The director apparently was friends with him, and he wanted him to play for one scene before he gets, spoiler, he gets killed.
Yeah, well, he was very memorable and very effective. I mean, he did a good job.
That's what they want. That's what they want. That's what they want, Christopher. Oh, may I call you Christopher?
Mr. Lloyd.
Mr. Lloyd.
Esquire.
I just wanted to get in your world, man. Another favorite film of mine, I destroyed the VHS from multiple watchings, and I still say the phrase, Big Booty. Big Booty, John Big Booty.
Yeah.
Buckaroo Banzai. Why was that movie so cool?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because of you.
I'm not sure I ever discovered what cool was. But in any event, it had a while. It was edited very strangely. It transferred from one studio to another, and the people doing the editing at the second studio didn't really understand what the film was about, and they kind of edited it in a nonsensical type of way. So the story really wasn't really told as fully as it was originally. But what a cast! I mean, Jeff Goldblum and Peter Weller. What's his name? Wonderful character actor. I'm not really quick on names, but it was Vincent Schiavelli. Some of you may remember. It was a wild movie, and it was played on a summer that was particularly hot and humid in LA. And a lot of the scenes were shot in an abandoned Firestone tire factory, and it was so grimy and greasy with oil spills on the floor. And we shot down the basement, and it was bugs and all kinds of crap all over the place. But it suited the film, and it worked out well.
The makeup for John?
Makeup, yeah. When we were aliens, Vincent Schiavelli, myself, and another actor, we wore makeup that covered our entire faces and neck like a second skin, which was right up to our eyelids. Vincent Schiavelli harangued the producers for about a half an hour. He just sat in his chair and told them the kind of suffering we were going through wearing that makeup. Because it went right up the eyelids, and of course some of the makeup would always get into your eyes, so you had to squint all the time to see what you had to see. But it was very hot and very uncomfortable, and it took a long time for it to be applied. But that's the name of the game. That's the business.
You guys look fantastic in that film. As aliens, you are really, man, that shot in the theater when it first pulls in and Buckaroo Banzai calls you guys out and the two of you are sitting in the theater is probably one of my favorite moments in the movie because it's so common, but it shocks the viewer when they actually get to see you. It worked.
Yeah.
It worked, Christopher. Now, you probably know this by now, but you seem to, as nice a guy as you are, you seem to be cast as pivotal villains. You always seem to play the best villain.
Oh yeah. I mean, playing villains is so much fun. Some of the villains I play, like the guy in Star Trek and Judge Doom, they have no compunction about being good people. Being a good person, moral and decent and compassionate and caring about other people is just not part of their DNA, so they can be just as evil and nasty as they please without recrimination. And it's fun to be playing a role where you're released from all these inhibiting things like being a decent human being. So that's kind of the fun of being a villain, especially when it's cartoonish, where you can go even farther with it. Or some crazy alien like Captain Kirk. It's fun to be bad. Believe me. Try it out.